So let's do a similar example. Example 6, it says the median annual salary for a police dispatcher in a large city was $44,528. If the 25th percentile for the annual salary of a police dispatcher was $32,761, find the percentage of police dispatchers whose annual salaries were A, less than $44,528, B, more than $32,761, and C, between $32,761 and $44,528. So let's look at this information. Let's look at the first one. Consider a line. It says how many are less than 44,528. Well, if we look at 44,528, that was the median. We know the median is dead center in the middle, so that's the 50th percentile. So that means 50% or above, or in this case, what really matters is 50% or below. So the answer there would be 50%. Let's look at part B. It says, how about more than 32,761? Well, here's $32,761, and we know that that is the 25th percentile. So if it's the 25th percentile, that means 25% are below it, which makes 100 minus 25, 75% being above it. So the answer there would be 75%. Let's look at C. C says between the two, 32,761 and 44,528. So the 32,000 is the 25th percentile. The 44,000 is the 50th percentile. So how do you find out what's between them? You simply do subtraction. 50 minus 25 gives us 25% lie between the two. So the answer would be 25%. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So let's look at the next one. It says, how are you going to calculate the percentile of a given data value? Well, to find the percentile of a score, remember that's the number of people that you have scored above. To find the percentile of the score, you look at the number of data values less than it divided by the total number of data values. That's going to give you a decimal, and then if you want to write it as a percentage, you have to multiply it times 100. So it's always the number of data values less than it divided by the total number of values. So let's look at example 7. It says, on a reading examination given to 900 students, Elaine's score of 602 was higher than the scores of 576 of the students who took the exam. What is the percentile for Elaine's score? This one tries to trick you a little bit because it gives you the score of 602. We don't care about the score of the exam. All we care about is how many were less than it and what were the total amount. So how many were less than it was 576 were less than it. How many total students were there? There were 900 total students. That's going to give us a decimal, so we can either move the decimal to the right 2, use the percentage convert button in our calculator, or simply multiply it times 100. Either way, convert the decimal to a percentage. Put this in your calculator now. Seems to me like I'm getting a 64, so that means she was in the 64th percentile. Okay, she scored higher than 64% of the people on that exam. It says on an examination, example 8, on an examination given to 8,600 students, Hal's score of 405 was higher than the scores of 3,952 of the students who took the exam. What was the percentile of his score? Again, the score is completely irrelevant to us. What we care about was how many more did he score better than? He scored better than 3,952 people. How many total were there? There were 8,600 total if you read it. Again, that's a decimal, so you multiply it times 100 or whatever you need to do to convert it to a percentage. I'm going to round this to 2 decimal points. I'm getting about the 45.96. Look, that's close enough. Let's just say it's the 46th percentile. Okay. So he scored better than 46% of the students.